a very short Uber ride, thankfully. Good evening, everyone. And unlike Earl, I'm going to cheat and keep my notes in front of me, and you'll be happy because it'll be faster than if I tried to remember it. So, everyone else has already done this, but of course I'd be remiss if I didn't as well. We're so thrilled to have each and every one of you here, and we know that you've come from so very many faraway places. You know, we've got folks, Verda talked about from Spain, from Germany, the Canadian contingent, and then across the U.S., right? We have folks from each coast and parts in between, and we're so really very deeply touched that you would make the effort and you would be here celebrating such a special occasion for us. So thank you very much for coming. We're very, very grateful to see you all here.
As we pondered our remarks for tonight, we couldn't help but recall many highlights of Scott's life pre-Louisa. You'll be happy to know that out of discretion, we'll not be sharing them. Actually, there are a few old friends and family here that are probably glad as well.
And I'm looking at the scope of contingent. But seriously, this is a time to celebrate Scott and Louisa and not to roast them. So we'll try hard to focus on their many, many wonderful qualities, and that really isn't a hard task. Steve and I feel unbelievably fortunate to have had the chance to watch Scott grow into the wonderful young man that he has become. It's clearly evidence of nature versus nurture.
At an early age, Scott showed a keen interest in sports. He played soccer, basketball, baseball, hockey, snowboarding, golf, lacrosse, remember that? Cross-country running, and even crew in high school. We also did a lot of skiing as a family. Scott has fervently, as have I, supported the Cubs and Blackhawks, hard to do these days for the Blackhawks, and celebrated their championships. All of this, I'm sure, contributed to his current love of America's favorite pastime, DraftKings.
In Louisa, he has met his match. Not only does she love skiing, she's mastering golf, and she is a regular at the gym. But thanks to years on the tennis court, she's a skillful and, might I add, competitive pickleball champion.
Pickleball.
I can only imagine what she'll be like in 20 years.
Scott's love of music is well-founded, coming from a long line of musicians on the Durning side of the family, including my mom, who is here with us tonight. Scott and I share a love of the guitar, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and of course Metallica. In fact, Scott's band, the Bumpkins, won a battle of the bands at Loyola Academy. You may remember that. However, he faced several hurdles in becoming a rock star, including the uncool dress code at Loyola Academy and the fact that he had to drive the family minivan for most of his high school life. So sorry about that.
We traded it in and got a Lexus as soon as he left home. By far, though, the qualities that most define Scott, in my mind at least, are his humor, his kindness, and his generosity. I may be a bit biased, but I think I'm allowed that privilege too. I would also add that these are qualities that Louisa also shares in abundance. Steve and I were reminiscing recently for the first time that we met Louisa. Scott brought her out to the house for dinner, and from the minute that she walked in the door, she was offering to help. She had a huge smile on her face, and she had an interest in each one of us.
We had a great evening full of laughter and stories, which was followed up a few days later by a handwritten thank you note in the mail, of all things. Who does that anymore? When Louisa told Scott that she had sent a thank you note, Scott said, "Oh, my mom's gonna love that."
He was right. I do. And I do.
As we've said more than once, she was brought up right. Thank you, Jeannie and Earl, for raising the perfect person to love our son and to join our family. And to Isabel and Ian for your many contributions to the process.
Having Louisa around makes all things just that much better. We focused on some, and I hasten to add, not all of their many wonderful qualities, but we would be remiss if we didn't call out their shared love of family and friends. In the past year or so, they've made time to visit family in Scotland, in Nova Scotia, in Ontario, not to mention Barrington, Winnetka, and Glendian. And for those of you from the Chicago area, you know firsthand the trip to the suburbs are the hardest and most grueling of all. They've had countless evenings with friends. They've been to a remarkable number of weddings and related events, both locally and abroad. And now it is our turn to celebrate.
So it is with great joy in our hearts that we ask you to join us in the toast. To two of the finest people we know, to Scott and Louisa, with all our love.